Welcome to the final video segment of the iPrint Duplication script training. This is the synchronization portion. We had just run the duplication script, and I have two servers that have identical iPrint configurations, except I created an extra printer on my production active server, and my standby server doesn't have that change. So we have a tool that will synchronize that change out to my standby server. And before I talk more about this synchronization, I want to provide more information on the duplication script. One thing I want to make sure is to make it known that this is supported on OES2. All of the demonstration I've been doing is on OES11, which it works well on OES11, and it works equally well on OES2. Also, I want to make it clear that in my demonstration, the print manager and driver store on the active production server happened to be running at the time that I ran the script, the duplication script. That is not needed. If you have a print manager that can't load or a driver store that cannot load, and you need printing back up quickly, and you don't want to troubleshoot the cause of the failure to load, you can run the iPrint duplication script on a backup server, and it will successfully duplicate the configuration even with the print manager and driver store down. It's not contacting the service per se, it is actually contacting the XML file and the driver files, and the services do not need to be loaded to access those files. So this can be used in an emergency situation to get printing up and running fast on another server. And then of course you just need to use DNS to redirect all your clients to the backup server. And if you happen to not have your clients configured in the recommended way with a transferable DNS name, what you can do is add the IP address of the server, the production server, as a secondary IP address to the backup server, and then bind your print manager to that secondary IP address. Now that I've clarified those points, I want to show you my active print manager server. Notice I have 13 printer agents. And now let's look at my backup server. I have 12. I can hit refresh here. I still have 12. This means they're out of sync. So I'm going to not only run the sync script to put them in sync, but I'm going to let this tool also configure cron to run the sync script at an interval that I choose. It could be daily, weekly, monthly. That's something you, the administrator, gets to decide. So let's look at this script. I'm in this iPrint sync folder, and I've run this before once, and that's why you see these extra files here. In fact, the way you'll see it the first time you run it will look like this. You'll have two files. You have your script file and your conf file. Let's look at that conf file. You'll see there's lots of comments here that gives explanation to what we're filling out here. The reason we need a configuration file is this sync script, if you set it up through cron, is going to run on its own automatedly. You don't want, if I choose run it at Sunday morning at 2 a.m., you don't want to wake up at 2 a.m. and answer questions, username, contact server names, passwords. You want this to run without your intervention. So the first question, I'm going to change the mode here so it's a little easier to see. Active server. I've already filled it out. What you'll see is two quotes with no space in between. Because I filled it out, you'll see the name of my active server and the name of my backup server, which I typed in there. The standby eDirectory context, this is the context where the printer agents reside for my standby configuration, which happens for me to be in standby.novell. Here I can choose, there's an option when you run the script to back up files relevant to my backup server. This will be the XML file and the driver files. And I am going to run that option. However, I'm going to leave this blank so that it will go to the default of var op novell iPrint, and it'll create a sync backup directory. Same with my standby server. So, this was for my active server. This is for my standby server, And same concept, I'm going to leave it blank. I am going to choose to back it up. And again, it's going to go into varop Novell iPrint. It's going to go to a sync directory. Then I need a username. Now I could put my tree admin, my admin.novell user, but not everyone would be comfortable doing that, and I don't blame you for not being comfortable putting your admin user in here. I chose to create a user. I called him iPrint admin. I put him in a user's context, and all he needs is supervisor rights to the standby directory, and he needs to be the manager role of the print manager. So I just did those two things to this user, and that allows him to have sufficient rights to complete the operation, the synchronization operation. Then I put in the password for this iPrint admin user that I created. And I'm also going to choose to do a notification. Every minute, or at every interval that I specify, I'm going to choose every minute. You can do every 5 minutes. The cron job will run and check the status of the print manager on the active server. And if it ever deems it to be down, then an email will be sent to whatever address I specify. I chose whatever@novell.com, and I'll be notified that the print manager is down, and then I can choose to do whatever I want about it. I can troubleshoot the problem and try and get it back up. I can choose to change DNS and redirect all my users to print to the backup server, whatever I feel is appropriate. So that is the configuration file that you need to fill out prior to running the script. And now let's run the script, the help file portion of the script, see what options are available. We have our help screen, which we're looking at. A -K sets up the keys, the trusted keys between the two servers. When I ran the duplication script, we also set up trusted keys, but the duplication script also deletes those keys upon the completion of that. Here it's going to set up and leave it that way because, again, the whole intent here is to run this without being prompted, to be running at 2 a.m. on Sunday if you choose, and to be automated. So yes, I am going to set up keys so I can do the copies and whatnot between the two servers. A D is an option if you want to delete those keys if you decide later to delete it. A -S means to run a synchronization at this moment, which I'm going to choose to do. I'm going to run this synchronization, so it'll actually create that extra printer agent on my backup server at the time I run the script. B, to back it up, which I'm going to choose to back up my iPrint files, the XML file, and the print drivers. N is to set up notification, so that if the print manager is down, I'll be notified by email. And C is to assist me in setting up cron job to make all of this automated, this synchronization and the notification. And so here are the options I'm going to run: K, S, B, and C. Everything but the help and the delete. So let's run this and see what it asks me. It asks me what interval in minutes I'd like to set up cron to check the status of the print manager. This is for the notification. The example is 5 minutes. I'm going to choose 1 minute because I'm a paranoid administrator and I want to know immediately when my print manager is down so that I can help my end users out. So every minute there'll be a check to see if the print manager is down on the active server. Would you also like to set up when to sync your print servers? Yes, I do. And how often do I want to synchronize my server to the standby server? I'm going to choose weekly. You can choose whatever interval makes sense for you. I get to choose the day of the week, 0 through 6, or I can type in, SUN, MON, the abbreviated name. 0 is Sunday, so I'm going to put in 0. I can choose the time. The example is 2 a.m. It's military time, so 1 o'clock in the afternoon would be 1300. I like this example, 2 a.m. Nothing's going on at 2 a.m. in my environment. I think that's a good time to run it. So that's been set up. Now it's checking to see if there's a difference. It found differences between my new print manager, and notice none have been deleted. It even checks for deletions. And because it found a difference, it went ahead and synchronized that difference. RC Novell IPSMD status. and it started my print manager at the standby print manager. And now let's go see if it really did it. So here's my active server. Remember, there was 13. On my backup server I had 12. I'm going to hit refresh, and now I have 13. So it did. It synchronized it, and it's going to synchronize it at Sunday at 2 a.m. and I'm going to get a notification if my print manager goes down. I'll get an email sent to me, and all of this has been set up through cron. And now we have a duplicated environment because we ran the duplication script earlier. We have a synchronization environment where it's going to be synchronized at the interval that I specified, and we have a notification system to tell me if the print manager ever goes down so that I can choose to take action in that event. So you have seen a demonstration, an explanation of the iPrint duplication script and the synchronization and notification script. Enjoy.